mean, Kingsville is a really good team. We knew that coming in, and their pitching's really, the best that we've seen from top to bottom. And obviously playing down there is always a difficult thing. All 4 games were close. All 4 could have gone either way. Opening night, their guy, threw really well. Jake did a good job too. And, we hit 4 or 5 balls with runners in scoring position that just unfortunately were right at them. If those are 3 feet either way, that game maybe is sort of a different outcome. Game 2, sort of same type game. And then games 3 and 4 were the same as well, except we found a way to win those. So while, always want to try to go win all 4 or win a series, splitting with them, they're by far the best team we've played this year. And I think they're going to end up having a very, very good year. So going up there and splitting, especially the way it happened, losing the first 2 and then having to bounce back and really, come back late yesterday after losing the lead, shows a lot about the character of our team and definitely going to fight. And so really I think it's going to be a positive thing going forward, and hopefully we can get back on the winning ways of winning more than 2 this weekend.
Do you think you said they had the best pitching you faced. Do you think the layoff had anything to do with that? Live pitching, not seeing that?
No, because we had, we inter-squatted and all that stuff. So I really don't think that had anything to do with it. I think you got to give their pitchers credit, and I think you got to say our hitting needs to improve too. But we weren't hitting the ball real good going into that stretch, and we sort of picked up where we left off. And then yesterday we started coming out of it a little bit better. But we got to continue to work hard and hopefully refine sort of our form early in the season.
Does that change what you do with the lineup, or is that just something you will hope keep the lineup the same and hope your hitters come back around?
I think both. I think right now, like Brett Parsons is still sort of hurt. Once he becomes 100% healthy, that gives us a few more options. The lineup is really sort of a continual thing. We'll try to run out whoever we think that day are the best 9 to give us a chance to win that day. And so, whether that's somebody not starting or moving them at different positions in the order, it just sort of depends, and we'll have to see how that develops.
You mentioned that Kingsville is one of the better teams in the conference along with your team. What does it do for you playing them as your first conference series? How do you turn this into a positive?
Well, I hate that we played so early. But, we may be the bottom 2 teams when this thing's done. It's so early you don't know. But if they continue to play as they played this weekend, if we can continue to play as we've played most of the year, I would feel like we would be two of the better teams in the conference when it's all said and done. Basically, we tied it. We split it. So whoever does the best in the remaining games. And then obviously, Charleston swept and West Texas swept. And I think those are 2 of the better teams. I think that's the biggest thing. I think, we've got 7 weekends of conference play, and I think, unfortunately, all 7 are going to be dogfights just like this last weekend. I don't think any of them are ever going to be easy.
Incarnate Word comes this weekend. I just talk a little bit about the matchup.
Well, they're picked to win the conference, and they've struggled a little bit here early, which is scary because they're good and they will piece it together. They've had a lot of games washed out because of weather, and so they just haven't gotten in a flow of playing. They had the preseason pitcher of the year in Kurt Jowasko, who struggled. And then their other guy, their top 2 pitchers last year were 20-1 or 20-0 in conference play. That's why they won the conference. Those guys didn't lose. And both those guys have not pitched up to their standards, and I think it's just they hadn't gotten regular work. Unfortunately, if you look this past weekend, it looks like they sort of started figuring it out because they both did, I think, complete games and gave up 1 run each. So we're hoping they need 1 more week to get it figured out, but they're going to be really, really good, and it's going to be a really difficult series.
Give me just a little bit about your relievers. How pleased are you with their effort? Lane got Weatherly and Church.
Awesome. One thing we felt like, and I think it's sort of proven true, I hadn't looked at the statistics, but, in a 9-inning game, if we feel like if we can get to the 6th and it's tied or we're ahead, we feel like, you know, we've got that. I mean, that game's ours. And then 7-inning game, if we can get it to about the 5th or so, same thing. And those guys have been consistent for us and have just been huge. And that's the thing. I think our team feels like when those guys come to the game that it's over, and they're going to do a good job. And I think both of them have given us a lot of innings and quality innings, and allowed us to win, you know, a ton of games.
I guess lastly for me, you kind of mentioned it, you said the resolve of your team to come back and win those last two was impressive to you. Talk about kind of how beneficial it was to see that in your team going forward to what, you know, maybe might happen again.
Yeah, well, I think that's big. I mean, I think, you know, how you respond to adversity is always something that's big. And I really thought Game 3, I mean, you know, we lost the first two. We had to turn around 25, 30 minutes after losing. And, you know, we did not play well and didn't really feel like we'd showed up as our team the first two games. And so, and then Game 3, you know, we jumped out early and then lost the lead and then had to come back again late. I thought that was big. I mean, I thought that could have been a season changer type thing. And so it was good to see that because, I mean, I believe that's the type of guys we have. And so I thought we played a lot more like ourselves yesterday. Game 3, we still, first 4 or 5 innings, I didn't feel like we were competing at the level we needed to be. But found a way to get it done and then sort of use that to propel us into Game 4 and hopefully it'll continue forward this weekend.